I mean, I could tell from your major that you don't know what you want to do. I mean, don't take this personal. I say this to all general business majors. You're not coming out of Harvard, okay? You can afford to be general business if you're coming out of Harvard. If you're coming out of EKU, all that's going to tell the employer, this guy didn't even bother to pick a specialization. Whether that's fair or not, that's besides the point. That's what they're going to think. I know it's the path of least resistance to graduation with a business degree. I get it. I have kids in college. I know how college students think, but you gotta eat, man. Unless you have a sugar daddy or sugar mommy, it's tough out there. I mean, labor market is okay now, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be okay in 5 years. Probably not even in 2 years. I mean, you're lucky. Baby boomers are retiring and they're not working anymore. So labor market is going to be good for you guys for the next 5 to 10 years. But once you hit 35, 2.5 kids and 1.5 ex-wives, then you're going to have to worry about stuff. That's pretty much the average. Django? Okay. And by the way, our RMI program, they're so connected. If you even have an RMI minor, they get you connected with all sorts of employers, internships, even trips. They even have scholarships, a little bit here and there, scholarship monies. So if nothing for nothing else, for those benefits, you may go for that. Dallas, good, good. That's one of the reasons you took this class, I guess. This is required for international business. It's a finance elective for general business. And usually general business students don't pick this because I'm teaching it, even though my classes have the highest GPA average. But I have a reputation for being an asshole. In my younger days, that was the case. That is true. As I grew older, I learned, and I'm going to kind of connect this to something else. In my first few years here, I was devastated. Some of my students could not solve the equation x minus 3 equals 0. Okay. You get pissed because you don't want to have to teach that. After all, this is not a math class. But, a lot of things we do require solving very simple equations. Even though I'm a bleeding heart liberal, I learned to appreciate what Donald Rumsfeld once said. He was Secretary of Defense for W. He says, you go to war with the army you have instead of the army you'd like to have. Okay. You teach the students you have instead of the students you'd like to have. Also, the trouble is, if you don't take that out of the equation, grade distribution to a big extent is determined by whether you had a shitty algebra teacher or a good algebra teacher. I don't want your grade to depend on that. That's why I'm going to change the way you guys should think about mathematics. I'm not talking about arithmetic. Multiplying 3 with 75 in your head is arithmetic. I can do a lot of that in my head. That doesn't mean I'm good in math. I'm good in arithmetic. I know shortcuts. Math is a completely different thing. It's, as I call it, it's the state of mind. Okay, it's a way of thinking about problems. Mathematical way of thinking about problems is you take a complicated problem and reduce it to things you know how to do. In this class, I'm going to teach you one thing in terms of math. And I'm going to show you that sheet after we talk about syllabus a little bit. If I gave you an equation, the left-hand side depends on a number of inputs. X squared plus y squared minus z squared, right hand side is 3. If you can put that equation into Excel as a formula to the left hand side, and I'm going to show you something, you're just going to pick which one you don't know. You don't know the z, given that you have x and y. Excel is going to solve it for you. My students from my previous classes know that that's goal seek, but now I made that very user friendly. They had to go through a lot of stuff every time they want to do it. They go to menu, pick data, what if analysis, goal seek. What's my goal? What's the value? What am I going to change? All that is gone now. I made something that works upon change, and I'm not going to do that in this class, but in my Finance 301 class, I'm going to actually spend 2 weeks to teach them how to create that sheet so that they could get some skills. And if you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll have access to those videos as well. You can watch them. It's not terribly complicated, but this class is not finance majors only. So I don't want to do really complicated stuff. You're just going to be end users of what I created. And I'm not going to test the other guys on their ability to create it themselves. But I want the finance major to come out of here with some basic rudimentary VBA skills. Do you know how much difference that makes when you go outside to the real world? Big time. You show your employers that you know something about that, you can make some of their problems very easy to handle. They're going to love you. Because the objective, right now, the times are good in terms of labor market. That's fine, but there's going to be bad times. We know that. In those bad times, you want to be on the unfireable list, okay? And you're going to be on the unfireable list, again, either by being from Harvard, which you missed the boat on, or showing them the kind of skills that they can't do without. You don't want to be a commodity. I go to supermarkets. I happen to like mangoes. If mangoes are expensive, well, I can live with avocado or passion fruit or dragon fruit or something else or peaches. I can change it. Don't be a mango, okay? Be something that's complicated. Be a complicated dish, okay? They can't replace you easily if they want that taste. If you're a wine, don't be just Cabernet Sauvignon. Be an $80 port, okay? Trust me, if you can afford it, $80 port is a very different taste compared to $5 Taylor port that you get at Kroger. For those of you who don't know, port is a kind of wine, sweet wine that's made in the city of Porto in Portugal. It has 22% alcohol instead of the regular 12. It is a digestif, which means you actually drink it after dinner. You don't get drunk with it. You could easily. So you want to differentiate yourself. Be a single malt. Don't be a blended Scotch whiskey. If you're a single malt, you have a distinct taste. I mean, if I can afford it, I like paying $100 plus for a Lagavulin 16 years, okay? With 2 kids in college, it's not easy, but every once in a while I do some consulting gig. I said, okay, I'm getting 2 bottles. I mean, I could get a whiskey and get drunk with it for $10. Just 30 Brooks. I mean, it's so bad I even put ice in it. So be a single malt. Don't be Jim Beam of the bourbon, okay? Be Angel's Envy. Be, I don't know, the Dark Rye of whatever. So differentiate yourself. Otherwise, 2 guys. He has a degree from University of Kentucky. She has a degree from Eastern Kentucky University. I got my PhD from University of Kentucky. I know their finance program sucks, okay? But I know. The employers don't know. They know the name, okay? Oh, University of Kentucky, they're great in basketball. That doesn't mean, that guy's going to make you any money, but they don't know anything about you from Eastern Kentucky either. So if there's a choice, they're going to pick the UK guy. Why? Because that's what they know. Is it fair? No. But hey, it's life. Life is not fair. All right, let's briefly talk about the syllabus, which I haven't posted yet because I have to change the schedule and stuff. And I'm kind of a stickler. EKU starts officially paying me on August 15th. They actually did pay me one day early. I don't put any work for the semester in until that day. It's my way of silent protest for being underpaid.